All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredible, invisible system that basically powers our modern world. And honestly, you rely on it every single day, probably without even thinking twice about it.
Think about it. You click Buy Now on your phone, and a few days later, or heck, maybe just a few hours, a package just shows up. It really does feel like magic, doesn't it? But what actually happens in between? How does that one specific thing get from some warehouse shelf, maybe thousands of miles away, directly to you?
Well, you guessed it, it's not magic. It's this beautifully complex dance of logistics and planning and prediction. Behind that single click you make is a huge chain of events, all designed to work in perfect harmony.
So to really get this, we've got to zoom out and look at the big picture. And that big picture, it has a name: the supply chain.
A supply chain is basically the entire life story of a product. It starts with the absolute raw materials, the cotton for a t-shirt, the silicone for a computer chip, and it covers every single step along the way. Manufacturing, storage, transportation, the whole shebang, all the way until it lands right in your hands. It's the journey from creation to you. Now, you can pretty much break the supply chain into two big parts. There's the operations, that's the physical moving of things, and then there's the planning. And let me tell you, the planning, that's where the real strategy happens. It's where companies win or lose. It's way less about just moving boxes and a lot more like playing a really high-stakes game of chess.
And in this super complex game of planning, there is one move, one single decision that everything else depends on. You get this one thing right, and you're golden. But get it wrong, and the whole system can just start to crumble.
And that master key, according to the experts, is this: the entire game is your demand forecast. That's the art of predicting what customers are going to buy, when they'll buy it, and how much they'll want. And it is incredibly difficult. I mean, you're trying to predict the future, juggling everything from seasonal trends to viral fads and completely unexpected world events. It's really just an educated guess, but it's the one guess that kicks everything off.
So why is this one prediction so incredibly powerful? Well, because it doesn't just stay a prediction on a spreadsheet. It sets off this massive chain reaction, a huge ripple effect that flows through the entire supply chain.
This whole flow of decisions is like a waterfall. It all starts with a forecast. Then, based on that one prediction, a company decides how much inventory to keep in stock. That inventory level then tells them what they need for warehousing, how many shelves, how big the building needs to be, even where to put it. Get it wrong, and the consequences are just huge. Forecast too high, and you are literally stuck with warehouses full of stuff gathering dust. Forecast too low, and your shelves are empty, your customers are angry, and you've just lost a ton of sales to a competitor. It is a constant, nerve-wracking tightrope walk.
So this brings up a massive question. If this whole forecasting game is so critical and has such gigantic consequences, how do you possibly get good at it? How can we teach people to master such a complex, interconnected system?
I mean, you can't just hand the keys to a billion-dollar supply chain to a student and say, "Go for it." The mistakes are just way too costly. A bad forecast could lead to millions in wasted product, or just as bad, millions in lost sales because you didn't have enough. There has to be a better way to learn.
Traditionally, you'd learn this stuff from a textbook. Lots of abstract theory, charts, equations. It's really hard to feel the real-world impact of your decisions that way. But the modern approach, it's a complete game changer. It's all about hands-on practice, about learning by doing in a safe environment where mistakes are learning opportunities, not financial disasters.
This calls for a whole new toolkit for learning, which is why educators are now focusing on freely accessible tools and hands-on simulations. Think of it like a flight simulator, but for supply chains. You get to make a forecast, see the ripple effect on inventory and warehousing, and learn from what happens, all without a single real product ever moving an inch.
Okay, so let's bring it all together and recap what we've uncovered about this hidden game and how we're all learning to play it better.
So what did we learn? First, that the supply chain is the entire hidden journey a product takes to get to you. Second, that the master key to that whole journey is the demand forecast, that one big guess about what you'll buy. Third, that single guess creates a massive ripple effect, impacting everything down the line. And finally, that the best way to master this high-stakes game is not with textbooks, but with hands-on simulations that let us learn by doing.
And this just brilliantly illustrates a much bigger idea.
I mean, if we can simulate something as complex as a global supply chain, what else can we learn this way? From managing city infrastructure to responding to climate change, what other high-stakes games can we master before we have to play them in the real world? It's a really powerful thought for the future of learning.